Does it even count? We got A-Man talking about his bench press, and we're going to be talking more about bench pressing in powerlifting standards. So, what is the right way to do a bench press to get 3 white lights and not any red lights when you're benching? So, we're going to talk about the more general rule, not so much into detail, but just like the main points that you don't want to forget when you're benching in your first powerlifting meet or just in general. So he said, I blew up my bench by incorporating leg drive, which is good. That's what you want. You want to make sure you're always using leg drive when you're benching. So much so that my glutes and hamstrings feel like they're doing more work than my chest and shoulders. So that is good. That is what you want. When I am benching, I'm engaging my quads and my glutes and just overall my legs so much that I am cramping like while I'm doing my set. So that's how you know you're using your leg drive. And that is one thing that's gonna help you real quick blow up your bench. Because instead of just using your upper body itself, now you're using your whole body. I hear people or I see people do or talk about um not using a leg drive. They don't know how to do it or they don't use it, and you can just see when someone's benching that they're only using their upper body. If you wanna have a weak shit bench, go ahead, do that. But if you're trying to get the most out of it and you want to grow a bigger bench, get stronger and put more weight on your bench, leg drive is probably the one of the most things you can do to get a better bench. So yeah, so he's saying that feels like they're basically doing more work than his chest and shoulders. So that's a good thing. I also noticed my hips rise about 1 to 2 inches off the bench, but it's not really noticeable since my pants are thick. That said, does this mean my bench wouldn't count by powerlifting standards? So let's dive into it. I already responded to him. I already did a quick reply to him, but let's start off with his first thing that he was talking about. So in powerlifting, we're first going to talk about what he talked about. In powerlifting, there are certain things that the judges look for to give you white lights and to give you that okay when you bench. Let's first talk about the hips or the glutes. Glutes off bench. One of the main things that a lot of people struggle to do when they're benching is keeping their butt on the bench. In the gym, go ahead, fuck the shit out of the air when you're benching so it can help you like lift weight. But if you're really trying to get into powerlifting and you want to do good in your meet, the one thing you have to learn is you gotta make sure your butt is on the bench at all times. So once they give you that start, your butt cannot come off the bench at all. And so you can see here that he was talking about it came off 1 or 2 inches off the bench, not noticeable because of his pants. On meet day, you're not going to be wearing thick pants. You're not going to be wearing jeans or joggers. You're going to be wearing a singlet. And because a singlet is very tight on your body, you can notice those things. So just to give you a straight answer is, yeah, this wouldn't meet the bench standards in a meet. Once they see that butt come off the bench, you're getting red lights. And there are so many things and so many different reasons why you can get a red light, but we're going to talk about the main things that you got to make sure you are doing when you're benching. So, glutes off the bench. Make sure it does not come off the bench when you're benching. All right, guys? The next part is going to be, this is not going to be in any order either, so it's just like off my head. It's going to be the pause. The pausing. When you bench, you want to make sure you learn how to do a nice pause on your chest when you bring it down. Doesn't mean you have to like let it sink into your chest. The whole point with this pause is the judges will give you that press command when they see the bar is motionless. Not if it's touched, not if it's still like coming down. It's motionless. Once they see the bar motionless, they're gonna be like press, and then you can press. Okay. So if you are a touch and go guy and you want to start getting into powerlifting, I suggest you start learning how to pause. Focus on long pauses, focus on like a quick 1 to 2 second pause, and just learning how to properly get that barbell fully motionless on your chest. Because it does sound easy, but honestly, sometimes, especially if you're not used to this, it does get a little bit hard. So the pause, right? Other than that, like the other things you gotta focus on is listening to the commands. So there's 3 commands. It looks like a U. So right here, the first part is going to be start. They are going to call start when your elbows are fully locked out, your feet are flat on the floor, and your glutes are on the bench. That is when they give you that start command. The next one is going to be the press. So, like we talked about, once they see the bar motionless, then they're going to say press. And then once you press up and you successfully push the bar all the way up to the point where your elbows are locked out, they are going to say rack. Make sure after you bring the bar up, you do not bring it up and then unrack it. You got to hold it up, wait for that command for them to say rack, and then you go unrack it. Honestly, when it's very, very loud in the venues and like you can't hear, you don't know what you're hearing, or there's 2 platforms, anything like that, what I usually do is once I press, I just hold it up there, and then the people that are spotting and loading, like they just yank it off of you. So that's just like what I do, just because I don't know what I'm listening to exactly, and I'm just so locked in that when I press the bar up and I lock out, I just let them take it from me. So those are the 3 commands. Okay, those are the main things you gotta listen to when you are doing your benching during your meet. So yeah, so you gotta make sure glutes are not coming off. You avoid glutes off the bench. Okay. Next one is a pause, and like we talked about too, just like a couple seconds ago, flat feet. You gotta make sure that your feet are flat throughout the set. If you're on your toes, you can't do that. You gotta make sure that your feet are fully flat. So if you are those benchers that are always on their toes and you want to get into competing, make sure that you get used to benching with flat feet. And in my opinion, I think it feels a lot better. I don't know. For me, when I used to go on my toes, I didn't really get that consistent and like full leg drive. But then once I switched, it was a little iffy. It felt a little awkward and took some time to get used to it. But hey, if you want to compete one day, you have to learn these things. Okay? So yeah, and then flat feet. Other than that, guys, this is pretty much it on having a up to standard bench press. I'm obviously there's like a lot more to it. Like for example, you gotta make sure that the bar path is going in one motion. Like it can't go up, down, up. So they won't call that. Like there's those kind of things. But these are like the main like basic beginner things you gotta make sure of when you are doing your bench press in the meet. Okay, so yeah, referring back to Amon, it wouldn't count. It wouldn't count. But actually, recently he just posted a link. So he said, would this count in powerlifting stage? So let's take a look at that, because I haven't seen this yet either. I don't know if I have to log in or not, but let's see the boy. Like, come on. Big Dog, Survivor, 225. So you see right there? Watch it. Can I like watch it? This is what I'm talking about. Literally, one by one, we'll break it down. So yeah, this is not up to standard, unfortunately, but crazy bench though. Other than that, he does have a crazy bench. So take a look. So here, he didn't fully lock out. And obviously there's no judges. He's not competing right now. He's in a gym, but yeah, he would have to wait for them to say start. Right here, you can see that he bounces the bar off his chest. Boom. Right there, he has to bring it down, pause it for a couple seconds, and then press up. So at least like in the gym, I give it like a couple second pause. Come up, boom, right there, he has to hold it. So obviously I'm not gonna like say like this is shit because it's really good, but like he's in the gym, right? But this is like a visualization of what I'm talking about. So it's actually a perfect timing that he sent this too. So right here, he should have held it right here. Then elbows are locked out. Boom, boom. Then he gets the rack and then he racks. Other than that, this was a solid bench. And I think he was fixing his glutes coming off the bench. So let's see. I wasn't paying attention to that. Came up a little bit, but like he said too, it's hard to notice when it's off or not. I think it did a little bit, but it's hard to notice because when you have like something loose, then it's hard to notice it, right? So yeah. Other than that, guys, there you go. Just like the most basic things that you got to watch out for when you do your first meet, or if anything you're trying to fix, make sure you keep a note of these. Also, by the way, this is my school community, so if you'd like to join, link is going to be in the description. There is a classroom, a full course on powerlifting if you're starting out, so feel free to join. Other than that, guys, that's pretty much it. Hope this helps at least one of you guys, and hope you learn something new. But until next time, peace.